Welcome back to my series, Dance Mums Unedited. This is the series where I discuss production notes written by the producers of Dance Mums. These notes show us what happened behind the scenes of particular episodes. Today we're looking at Season 6, Episode 6. As always, there will be a link in the description box below which will take you to a PDF of these notes, so that you can read through them in further detail. Because there was more to this episode than the producers cared to show. The week begins with the cast arriving at the ALDCLA. The mums wonder if Abby will be present today. The building is unlocked, so they decide to head inside. Ashley speculates that Abby decided to return because Debbie Allen expressed interest in teaching their girls. Jess agrees that Abby probably sees Debbie Allen as her competition. When Abby arrives, she appears refreshed and happy, however the mums immediately demand answers from her. Abby flat out tells everyone that she doesn't want to be here. The mini-mums then enter, and Jess and Jill question why they keep coming back when Abby shows no interest in them. Holly gladly tells Abby that Debbie Allen said that the girls can use her studio anytime. Pyramid begins with Abby informing everyone that there was a hip-hop convention at the ALDCLA last week while the girls were away at 3rd Street Dance. Jill asks why the doors were locked for them, but not for the convention. Abby deflects, asking why none of the duets last week won. Ashley fires back that if Abby was there, things would have been less chaotic. At the bottom of the pyramid is Peyton because of her mum's mouth. She is followed by Ariana, Alexis, Alyssa, Jojo, Bryn, and Kendall. Nia and Kalani are next, and Abby claims that Kalani was more into the routine than Nia was. Nia stands up for herself, saying that she put her blood, sweat, and tears into the dance, and Holly calls Abby out for not being there last week. Kenzie is at the top of the pyramid for embracing the dance and having fun. The minis are then assigned the group dance Cavemen Undercover, the juniors are assigned Better Off Now, and Alyssa gets a solo called Fever Rising. It is also suggested that another solo will be assigned to one of the mini dancers. At the bleachers, Holly is upset that Abby tried to discredit Nia's dancing last week, and all of them are tired of Abby using their girls to sell team jackets. Then Lynn and Kendall Faye arrive to participate on the mini team. The mums don't know whether Abby invited them or if they just showed up to surprise her. That's probably code for them wondering if the producers asked them to show up against Abby's wishes. Jill suggests that the pair should go into the studio to talk to Abby. The second that they set foot inside, Abby kicks them out and gives them paperwork to fill out. When Lynn and Kendall return, Jill feels immediately stressed, saying that there's only room here for one Kendall. The mini-mums explain to Lynn the drama that they've experienced so far, and advise her to leave while she still can. Kerry then takes the opportunity to apologise to the other mums for her behaviour last week. Ashley questions the pyramid rankings, saying that Kendall and Bryn's duet was the highest scoring routine from the ALDC. She says that she's confused as to why people praise Kendall's dancing. To prove a point, she brings up a video from the audience of their duet last week on YouTube and shows the other mums the comments section. These comments heavily claim that Kendall has lost her passion and that Bryn's dancing is better. Jill begins to scream obscenities at Ashley, calling her desperate. Abby enters the room, telling Jill that when she yells, it affects Kendall's performance in the studio. Ashley stands separate from the other mums, watching Bryn rehearse while the other mums sit on the bleachers. She tells Jill that the berating comments go both ways, and that none of the mums ever compliment Bryn. When rehearsals finish, Ashley pulls Bryn aside, telling her that Maddie's spot on the team is as good as hers, and she needs to own it. The following day begins with Holly, Jess, and Ashley talking out the front of the studio. Ashley says that she doesn't understand why the mums think it's okay to criticise Bryn, and yet she can't speak about the other girls. Holly explains that the kids should always be off topic. Jess accuses Ashley of going after Jojo at first, saying that when Jess wouldn't put up with it, Ashley targeted Kendall instead. Ashley admits that her comments about Kendall yesterday possibly went too far, but she also says that Jill overreacted. Jess and Ashley then begin screaming at one another over who started making the nasty comments first. Holly tells Ashley that Jess is only trying to help her. Ashley then begins to cry, saying that she just wants the same level of respect that the other mums demand from her. Holly insists that they all need to stop throwing the girls under the bus. She adds that it makes sense that Bryn being so loved by Abby will get under Jill and Melissa's skin, especially when it means that Kendall is ignored. When the three mums enter the studio, Melissa and Jill try to ignore Ashley, but Holly tells them that the mums need to be a team. Ashley apologises to Jill for her behaviour yesterday, and asks that the mums show her respect. Then the mini-team arrives. The elite mums ask if they all practiced together last night. Lynn replies that no one reached out to her, and the other mini-mums blame it on a communication error. The mini-mums then ask Abby if there will be another mini-solo, and if Kendall Faye will be in the group dance. Abby calls Kendall over, yelling at her to demonstrate particular moves. When she struggles to do so, Lynn defends her daughter, saying that her former studio didn't teach much terminology. Abby claims that Kendall can stay, but that she won't get a solo until she learns her terminology. Maddie FaceTimes Melissa, who takes the phone over to Abby. Even though she's in the middle of running rehearsals, Abby is excited to tell Maddie that she will have a solo next week. The minis leave the studio, aside from Peyton and Kendall. Lynn asks Abby if this is Kendall's chance to audition for the team. This causes Abby to scream and kick Lynn out of the room. Lynn rushes out of the studio crying, sick of putting herself on the line so that Abby will give her daughter a chance. The mini-mums comfort her and convince her to stick it out for the sake of her daughter. Weren't they just telling her yesterday to leave while she still can? I wonder what changed between then and now. Mary becomes worried that Alyssa hasn't learned her solo yet, and she asks Abby why they haven't started working on it. Abby simply replies that the group comes first, and they will work on it soon. While the elites are rehearsing, Kendall's dad and Jill's husband Erno enters the studio with a surprise delivery. They are very happy to see him, and Kendall receives a much-needed hug from him. Meanwhile, Lynn is still in tears. Tiffany tells her that while Abby's behaviour is hard to handle, it'll be worth it in the end. Melissa informs the mums that Maddie will be back next week. Jess points out that in the group dance choreography, Bryn walks off stage in the opposite direction to the rest of the team. Jess believes that this could be foreshadowing of Bryn's status on the team once Maddie returns. Early the next day, the elite mums, excluding Ashley, go for a morning walk. Jess once again speculates that Abby's choreography, involving Bryn walking off stage by herself, must have some deeper meaning. Jill disagrees though, thinking that Bryn will stick around. She says that she's sick of Ashley picking on Kendall though. Holly reminds the mums that they are only making things worse when they lash out at Ashley. Jill claims that her relationship with Ashley is indeed salvageable, but they currently have no mutual trust. When she's prompted by Holly, Jill admits that Kendall's career is a very sensitive topic to her, and that it's very tough for her when Ashley compares Kendall to Bryn. Holly claims that even though Abby's acting nice this week, she's sick of her not caring for the junior girls. She points out that Abby assigned the minis 3 out of the 4 routines this week. Jill adds that the moratorium on outside activities still stands for their girls, and she is mad at how it is negatively impacting Kendall's career. Meanwhile, the mini-mums arrive at the studio to find that the junior mums are missing. They decide to sit in the position where the junior mums usually sit on the bleachers. When the junior elite mums enter and see them sitting there, Jess accuses them of being wannabes. The junior mums express how nice their walk was, and Ashley calls them bullies for excluding her when they had committed to patching things up. Jess reminds Ashley that she previously said she didn't want to be their friend, and Jill calls Ashley toxic. When Abby enters, Ashley begins campaigning for Bryn to have the last unassigned solo. The other mums argue against this, saying that Bryn doesn't even want the solo. Sari then enters the studio, begging Abby to let Ariana have the last solo. Abby agrees, allowing Ariana to perform Wonderland, the solo that she's been working on for weeks. Excited, Sari tells the other mums, who become annoyed. They explain that no one has ever had this much time to work on a solo. When Abby approaches the mums, they bombard her with questions as to why Ariana gets the solo. Jill calls Abby out, saying that it's clear that Abby is just too lazy to choreograph a new dance. Jess agrees, saying that Abby is better than that. She insists that Abby should push Ariana by teaching her a new solo. As Abby and the junior mums leave, Lynn breaks down crying again. The mini-mums are furious that Lynn has walked onto their team and won't fight for her daughter to have the solo. Holly explains to Lynn that she can't just sit back and wait, and Carrie says that she has no backbone. The mums seem so harsh here. This was her first week on the team, and the last mum who tried to force their daughter onto the team had the cops called on her. Abby calls all the mums into the studio to watch the routines. Abby reminds Ariana that she doesn't give second chances, saying that her solo needs to be perfection, since she learned it weeks ago. The day concludes with Ashley saying that this is Bryn's moment to shine. Jess points out that while Bryn may fit on the team, Ashley doesn't. And unfortunately, we don't have any notes for this week's competition. According to the Dance Mums wiki though, there were only 15 routines entered into the competition, and the 2 ALDC groups were the only group routines performed on the day. It really takes all the tension out of the episode when you realise that, by default, the ALDC was just about guaranteed to have a clean sweep. And with that, we've reached the end of episode 6. What do you think of Ashley's ongoing feud with the other mums? Let me know in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!